Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Vovo Drag Tarot. I, of course, am Joni Vovo, a drag artist based in Sydney's inner west in Sydney, Australia. And this is Vovo Drag Tarot. So if, wait, what am I saying? We're up to Gemini. Okay. So this is a general reading for Gemini. So if Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising, this reading's for you. Sorry, I'm just patting my cat off screen. Every time I sit down at my desk, she thinks it's just a cat petting station. Yeah, so this is a general reading, so please take what messages resonate and leave the rest. Also, if you're new to my channel, I'd love to hear where you're viewing from. Leave it in the comments below. And as always, the best way to support me is to like or to subscribe. That just really supports what I'm doing here, so I would muchly appreciate it. So today I am using the Rider White deck. I'll be doing a Celtic cross and looking at your current situation, the challenge you might be facing. We'll look at some general advice and a possible outcome. And I say this every video, but even though we look at what might be coming up in the future and a possible outcome, you can make your own goddamn choices using your own heart, mind, and intuition. So please just use this as a chance for you to have perhaps a bit more clarity about your situation. And otherwise, make up your own mind. It's your life. Do what you want. Seriously. All right, I'll just give the cards one more shuffle. Our cat, her tail's flicking around on the table, so we'll see how this goes. All right, you ready, Gemini? Let's go. Oh, okay, so it seems like maybe you're being very nostalgic at the moment, just thinking back to simpler times, good times, maybe your childhood, just basically anything in the past where you felt like it, really sits solidly in your mind as one of those periods of your life where things just went well, you had great connections, things went smoothly, you've got a lot of happy memories. So, there are also times perhaps where you were able to approach life with openness and a bit of innocence. So, it's not like you were thinking, oh, I need I need to get the best job. I need to make sure I've got enough money to pay all my bills. Oh, I need to watch this person. I need to watch that person. I need to get out of this bad situation. It's like things were just simple. And you could just let your guard down and live your life and be happy. Okay, that's an interesting starting place. So maybe that's where you're at now. Maybe you feel that you're in this period of your life where you can just drop your guard, just take things as they come and things are simple. This is the first card, so we'll see how this plays out. Like I said, maybe this is your current energy or you're remembering simpler times from the past. Gemini! Okay, so it looks like you've just come out of a period of success where your efforts have paid off, where people have recognized your work, your worth, and you're if I put these two cards together, it seems like things are going really well for you at the moment. Just wherever you've been putting your energy, it's been going well. People have been appreciative. People have even been celebrating you. And perhaps at the moment, just everything is in place and you're just living life, living your best, and not having to overthink anything. Wow, that's a really epic starting place. I say that now, and I know, tarot can bring any sort of curveball in, but, maybe just take a moment. There's probably things in your life you're appreciative of, you're thankful for, different people around you, different opportunities you've had, where you've really been able to be your full self, be open, put value in, be appreciated, have that value returned to you. That's really incredible. What an awesome starting place. Okay. Okay. So the Six of Swords is all about moving on, and it came in upside down. So if we put all these cards together, I would say you're very much happy with how things are right now. Everything is just in the right place. And perhaps you have a niggling sense that this can't last forever. Such is life, right? Things change, chapters come to a close, we have to move on, whatever it might be. You know, we finish at a job, you know, friends and family, we end up moving and changing locations, so people come and go from our life. So I think you've got this niggling sense that maybe change is ahead, and I get the impression you don't want to think about it right now. You're like, nope, not going to deal with that, not going to worry about that. That's the future. This is where I'm at right now. I know it's going I don't want to even look at or think about when this chapter is going to come to a close. Put that out of my mind. And to your credit, in a sense, that's kind of a good thing, because it means you're very much in the moment and appreciating what you have now. It's so hard to live in the now. But if that's what you're doing, you know, all credit to you. That's amazing and incredible. However, I would say if there's something in your calendar in the future that's coming up and you're ignoring it, definitely stay in the present. But at some point, this moment is going to come. There's going to be change. The chapter's going to close. A cycle's going to happen. So you need to face it at some point. Might not be now, but it's down the track. It's coming. Okay. Interesting. So sitting in your challenge position is the Knight of Swords. I'm just trying to decide if this is your energy or someone else's. I have a feeling this is someone else's energy. I think this is people trying to bust your bubble. There's perhaps someone or people in your life that are prompting you and pressing you, being like, okay, the future's coming. This change is coming. What you're doing now is going to come to an end. What are you going to do about it? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do next? And yeah, and whether it's other people or it's just your own internal monologue and your own thoughts, there's all these questions and statements and basically reality is rushing in, whether that's through other people or your own, let's just say, intrusive thoughts. At some point you're going to have to face truth and reality, and this is a night. Nights just rush in. No holds barred, particularly the Knight of Swords. So at some point, truth and reality is going to come crashing in, rushing in, and it's going to be something you have to face. This is your challenge. Gemini, I'm with you. I just want to stay in that bubble, right? Just things are simple. Everything works. Why rock the boat? Unfortunately, that's not life, right? We can enjoy things for a time, but then they come and go. It's just how it is. It's just part of it, right? So, okay. So your attitude towards this is you're trying to be very calm, collected, know your own inner emotional space, but you want to make a rational decision, which is fair, perfect. The Queen of Swords is this wonderful, perfect balance of the emotional space and the thought space. So it's knowing yourself well, balancing it up with reason, and then making, I guess, a clear decision or speaking clear truths. So it seems so this is actually a pretty good balance. So even though you might be resistant and reluctant to face the future, it seems like you're not delusional about it. You very much want to appreciate the moment you have now, which is great and wonderful. But when it comes to the future, you're going to face it with this wonderful connection of heart and mind, and to be clear-headed and, yeah, I guess just make the best choices for you. Wonderful. Brilliant. Great reading so far. Love it. So the thing that maybe is going to blindside you about this. Oh. Okay. So the Page of Cups is about new opportunities coming in, about something unexpected and surprising coming in, but the main gist of it is that it's kind of like if you are, what am I trying to say? So here you might be weighing up your options. It's like, okay, this is going to come to an end. What am I going to do next? And you might be waiting for that door to open, for that path to be visible in front of you. You might be very much open and searching and looking, being like, okay, which is the right way to go? And the thing is, this came in upside down. So at the moment, that next step might be a bit elusive. You might not see the next opportunity for you. You might not see an open door, see a path. And there may even be a delay. So as this, whatever chapter you're in now, as that wraps up, as you look to what comes next, it might not immediately be clear, or it might not, everything might not line up nicely. You know, sometimes when you leave one job, you won't have the next job lined up. Maybe that's not going to happen in this case. There might be some delay, or it might just take a little bit more effort to search and find what the next opportunity is going to be. And this is perhaps what you don't see coming, even though you're very much like, okay, this is what's important to me. This is what I think is going to work practically. Let's make a good decision. And then you go to make that decision and you're like, oh my gosh, what are my options? I don't see any options, particularly if you're trying to be holistic about it. So you want to choose something that resonates with what you're passionate about and is meaningful to you. You also want it to be practical, and let's just use the career metaphor. This might not be about your career, but just roll with it. You might be like, okay, where's the opportunity? What's going to make me money and pay the bills? How can I balance those two things? You might find it's going to be a little bit difficult to find something that ticks all the boxes and is like the perfect fit. It might not be immediate. All right, Gemini, how are we doing? Just a quick check-in. You okay? Good to continue? All right, let's keep going. So your advice about this situation is to not let this uncertainty or these delays reflect on your value. You might, again, let's just use career. Let's say you're in the middle of studying, you just finished a degree, and you're like, right, I've got all the qualifications I need. I can get that job now and finally do the career I wanted to do. It might take some time to land that job. You might be putting your application out left, right, and center. You might not make it past the first interview, and that might be really discouraging and defeating. Don't take it personally. It's not a reflection of your worth or your value or what you have to offer. It just means the right fit hasn't come up yet. Or the right fit, it's not available to you yet, but if you keep looking, keep pursuing, keep being patient, the right opportunity will come up at the right time. Don't take it personally. Just be patient, know your worth and value, and just persevere. Such is life, right? Which, again, this is probably going to be a little bit of a shock since you've been in this wonderful little bubble. Again, maybe you've been at uni, you've made all these wonderful friends, you've learned all these new skills, you're passionate and so invested and interested in, the content and that particular career path, and you're fired up and ready to go. And then you face the reality of the job market. Wonderful. Don't take it personally. It's just going to take some time and effort, that's all. Ooh. All right, here I have been making this all about a career reading. Interesting. So I think the way I'm going to read the lovers here is that you probably have lots of support around you. Like, going through this transition, you're not actually doing it alone. You've probably got so many people that care about you, so many people that know your value and worth, and they're there championing you on, wanting you to succeed. So lean into that. Lean into that love and support that's there. You're not alone. People know your worth and value. Just make sure don't, if you do start to feel discouraged, don't self-isolate. Reach out. Connect with the people that care about you. They'll remind you of who you are and your value and your worth. All right. All right, so this is taking a bit of a turn. So we've got the lovers and the devil right back to back. Give me a moment. Processing. Okay. No, got it. So this came up in your hopes and fears, right? I think you're worried that whatever situation you get into next, it's going to be... Okay. Let's go back to the start. Everything's simple. Everything's great. Living your best life. You can... you're connected with wonderful people around you, wonderful community. You know your value, you know your worth, you know what you can give. Just everything's simple and makes sense. I think you're worried about venturing out into the unknown. Let's say into the real world, where things aren't sometimes life isn't simple. Sometimes life is very complicated. It can be very defeating, and you might just follow the path, and it might lead you to places where you look back and like, how on earth did I end up here? I think you're worried about this decision you make. It's probably going to set you in, as is all big decision in our lives, it will often send us off in a particular trajectory. And, the longer that we follow that path, the further that we get away from what is known, what is familiar. We change, the people around us change. So I think that's what you're worried about. You're worried that if you make a decision, set your foot in a certain direction, you're going to be locked into that, and it's going to take you somewhere that may not have the outcome that you want, or may not end up aligning with your values and your needs and your wants and desires and blah, 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 and all of that. Perfectly understandable. Again, if we go back and use this study and career analogy, you finish your degree, you sign up with a company, let's say you're going to end up being there for 10 years, even though that's a bit optimistic. Like, I've never had a job that long. But 10 years later, you'll look back and be like, wow, 10 years of my life went like that. I am now completely stressed out, work with shit people. This company, I don't believe in its values. How did I get here? I think that's what you're worried about. So if we go back to your advice, just know your worth, know your value, and when an opportunity does come up, just do that work of knowing, okay, does this align with my values and also my goals and what I want to achieve? If there are certain delays here, once an opportunity comes up, you might be quick to say, yes, I'll do it, just because you've had to wait so long, or you feel a bit anxious about accepting what is offered to you. You don't have to accept the first offer. Just have a check-in. Before you say yes, just be like, okay, does this align with me and what's important to me before I commit? Just be patient, be discerning, don't just say yes. All right, final outcome, you ready? Okay, so it looks like this process is going to be a bit of a test. I suppose it is going to be a bit of a slap in the face of the reality of life. And for a time, things aren't going to be simple. And you're going to have to use your own heart and intellect to be discerning and make good choices. And that's okay. Like, don't feel overwhelmed, don't feel scared. Like, you have the capacity to face it. You really do. So this did come in upside down. I don't read it I read it as, so this was the strength card. I read this as it's going to be a challenge of your strength. But you do have strength. It's going to challenge you to draw on those inner resources, and you're going to find out what you're capable of, and it's going to be a lot more than you thought. You've actually got this. It's going to test you and push you in certain places that you may have not flexed before. But I think you've actually got it. Okay? All right, Gemini, let's have a quick look at the bottom of the deck. All right. Like I said, you're going to have to spend some time doing some inner work to know what's important to you. Again, be patient. Spend some time thinking about if an opportunity came your way, what would make you say yes? What is important to you in venturing forth into the unknown? If you've got your values in alignment, then it's going to be a lot easier to navigate the unknown. Yeah, be discerning. Don't just say yes to the first thing. Think it over. Is this a good choice for me? Yep, I mean, and you will be tested in terms of you are going to need to be patient. There may be delays. It might be a bit of a test, but in the end of it, the right thing is going to come your way at the right time. Okay? Okay, I'm going to leave it there. All right, Gemini, I'm going to love you and leave you. Would love to hear how this reading resonated with you. If you want to leave any feedback in the comments below. Otherwise, please support my channel by hitting like or hitting subscribe. I would appreciate it immensely. Otherwise, I'll see you later. Bye.